In this video, you will learn how to cite a CQ Researcher article using Noodletools. As you can see from the screen, I'm already opened to my dashboard for the project. I know that I've found a source I want to use. It's from CQ Researcher, and I'm ready to cite it. So I'm going to go click the Sources button. And in order to create a new citation, I have to click the green button that says Create New Citation. Now I'm going to be asked a couple of times information about what kind of source I have and where I found it. The first choice I have to make has to do with how I accessed the source. From a database, a website, was it printed or something that I found like in my hand on a newspaper? Did I view or hear it live? Was it some kind of other file? Because CQ Researcher is a database that our school subscribes to, and that's how I accessed it, I'm going to click Database. Now Noodletools wants to know what specific kind of source I'm going to be citing. CQ Researcher is probably most appropriately cited as a magazine, and this is for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is a periodical, meaning that it comes out, it's published at a regular interval. I wouldn't call it in a newspaper because it is not really about the news. It has a very specific type of information that it's covering. It's also not quite an academic journal. It's not producing or publishing first-hand studies. I also don't believe that it's peer-reviewed, which is why we're going to say that it's a magazine. Now all I have to do is fill in the appropriate information, and then Noodletools will save that information and format it so that it follows MLA citation format. The name of the database I already know is CQ Researcher Online. I don't have to click the My Libraries databases because I already put the database in. The URL, I am going to copy and paste the URL from my source and put it here in the citation. Some teachers will not want you to include URLs, so you always want to check with your teacher, but it's better that you know how to do it and how to put it in now than you find out later you should have and you no longer have the link. We're always going to click this button that says Most Recent Date of Access today. And that's because whenever we're using an online source, we need to put in the date of access so that the reader knows what day we actually read the source online. Now I need to include some specific information about the article. So I'm going to go back to the source and I'm going to find information about the author, the title of the article, and the pages if there are any. The author of this article, it tells me right here, is John Bunton, and the title of the article is Bail Reform. I know here. This as a subtitle I'm not going to include. It's not necessary to include subtitles for an article like this, so I'm just going to put Bail Reform as my title. My author was John Bunton. Make sure that you are spelling the names correctly, that you're capitalizing appropriately, because Noodletools will not correct those kind of typographical errors for you. The article is called Bail Reform. You'll see here that Noodletools is telling you some MLA rules. Capitalize the first letter of the first word, last word, subtitle, and all principal words. This is important because MLA requires that you follow these capitalization rules. You might be citing a source that doesn't follow those rules. So that means you have to actually do the capitalizing yourself. You can't just copy and paste it because then it's not following MLA format. I don't need an English translation. Pages is tricky. This article is online, which when we're citing online sources, we don't actually need page numbers because it's easy to find the information by doing a find, edit, search. If I click on the Cite Now, it's going to tell me the page numbers are 1 through 46, but I'm not going to put that in because I am using the online version. And technically, if we're using an online version, a web page site, then we don't need to put page numbers in. Now I'm going to move down to the next field. The name of the magazine is called CQ Researcher. Again, make sure that you are capitalizing and spelling everything correctly. Volume and issue number. They do give us right here, volume 29, issue 14. Just another little quick warning here. Again, had I used the Cite Now feature, I would have gotten something else wrong. A magazine is going to have a volume and issue number. This MLA citation format gives us page numbers instead, which once again, because we are not using a hard copy or even a PDF of this source, we don't need page numbers. We do want volume and issue numbers. The information I also need now is the date of publication. This is very recent, April 12th, 2019. For now, I do want to include this source in my final work cited, so I'm just going to click Save. And there it is. It's part of my works cited page. You'll see when I import the information myself rather than using the copy and paste feature, I get the volume issue number as it appears on the article source, and I don't get the page numbers, which is how it should be if we are citing a magazine from a database.